The IRS has announced $1.5 billion is available. Also, a group of 30 senators meet today to discuss the details of another COVID relief bill and some remarks under President Biden, Joe Manchin, and Bernie Sanders. We have a lot to discuss right here in this video, so let's get into it right now. Alright, so just the other day I was out in a separate video talking about this $5.8 trillion plan that the president has just unveiled. Within this $5.8 trillion, there are also $1.598 trillion of discretionary spending, while the president also unveiled a new plan to tax those households who have a net worth of $100 million or more at a 20% rate going forward. Well, as a result of that, shortly after this plan was actually unveiled, Senator Joe Manchin, who happens to be one of the Democratic senators, who is also a Democrat, came out essentially saying he doesn't approve of this new plan, and he was showing his opposition of the plan. At the same time, he went on to say that this 20% tax on those households with a net worth of over $100 million is not the best plan. In fact, there are much better ways to get more money out of the super wealthy, the super rich, and those high-income individuals and the high net worth individuals. There's a much better way, in his opinion, to get more money out of them. He also indicated that everybody should be paying their fair share. He also went on to say that you cannot tax something that has not been earned, because within this plan, that president unveils that he actually wants to tax unrealized gains. In other words, if you hold a stock position and you're up, say, a $1,000 of profit, if you have not sold that position as of right now, that is unrealized gains. In other words, it's not taxed until you actually sell a position. But President Biden, with his new plan right here, he wants to go after all of those unrealized gains and tax all of that, even if the positions have not been sold yet. So here's what's been happening. Chuck Schumer, who happens to be the leader in the Senate on the Democratic side, has been meeting and discussing the details of the new COVID relief bill with Mitt Romney, who is a Republican, but he's more kind of on the fence type Republican when it comes to the party. So Chuck Schumer is actually working with Mitt Romney because he feels like, this is probably my one opportunity to get something through with one of the more liberal Republicans out there. So those two guys, one from each side, have been working together in good faith, according to what I've been reading on this, and they are discussing the details of this next to COVID relief bill. Now, I've seen multiple different numbers on the table as far as how much this could be. It could be anywhere between about 15.6 to possibly 22 billion to possibly even 45 or possibly even more billions of dollars. So I have not seen a definitive number on this, but I've seen a lot of different numbers across the board. But we do know it's probably going to be a minimum of about 15.6, possibly up to just shy of about $50 billion, possibly more, possibly less. But this is the range that I'm seeing out there. However, they are discussing all the details on this. Now, this afternoon, President Biden was also voted. He was getting his second booster vaccine. If you happen to catch that, he did that earlier. And then, of course, he also went off and talked about how Congress should approve more COVID relief funding, because basically the bank account on the government side, when it comes to the COVID relief, is essentially empty according to what I've been reading. Now, their idea of an empty bank account is probably very different than our idea of an empty bank account. Our idea of an empty bank account is literally an empty bank account, right? A lot of zeros and probably a decimal point and maybe a couple pennies. That's probably about it. So they're working on that, and they have set a deadline of April 9th as far as when they want to get this next bill done. So it doesn't leave too many days, right? About a week and a half or so as of right now, as of this recording. So as we do get more information, of course, I'll continue to bring that to you right here in these videos next. So the IRS has announced they have $1.5 billion sitting on their books that's unclaimed. So if you are looking for some money, you might want to check the IRS, because they might be holding on to some of your money, and the deadline to claim the money is coming up quick. That deadline to get that money is April 18th. Here's why. April 18th of this year is tax day. Here's what it comes down to. So it is from the tax year of 2018. According to what I was reading on this, you get 3 years to claim this money. After you 3 years and you don't claim the money, guess who keeps it? Yeah, the IRS, right? So if you didn't claim this money and you have money come and due to you, you might want to grab it because the IRS is not going to call you, but rather they're going to keep it, right? So that $1.5 billion, and they've also announced that the median refund is $813. That's the median. In other words, if there is, say, 1,000 different payments that go out, which by the way is not, it's 1.5 million people out there who are due to this money. So basically, out of the 1.5 million people who are due to this money, the median number, in other words, from 0 up to the maximum amount, if you count it from the size, the median number is 813. So in other words, half of the refunds will be more than 813 and half the refunds will be less than $813. So anyway, that's kind of a substantial amount of $813 that could kind of go a long way these days. Well, let me take that back. It's not going to go that far these days, but realistically, it sure would be nice to get an extra $813 these days. So here's the deal. If you're somebody who thinks that you may be due some money from the IRS in the form of tax refund from the tax year of 2018, you may want to think about considering filing a 2018 tax return and claim that money, because once the 18th rolls by and it's gone and forgotten about, the 18th is done a tax day. According to what I was reading about this, it is done and over with. You can get that money. You basically get a 3-year window to claim that money as a refund. And if you don't claim it, goodbye, it doesn't come back. So again, you might want to check that out. There's a lot of money on the table right now, $1.5 billion up for grabs, and the IRS has announced it. So, and there's 1.5 million people, by the way, that are due that money. So a lot of people out there that are due some money. Let's see if they get it. So anyway, as I do get more information on anything else out there, I will keep you updated. This is my update for as of right now, so make sure to subscribe down below. If you haven't done so yet, share this video or any other share on the channel with your friends, family, social media. I'm doing all this research every single day, and I truly want to help you out in any way that I possibly can. There's a lot going on, and I'm doing my best to break it all down and bring to you the most valuable and relevant information for the vast majority of you right here in this community. So again, thanks so much. Subscribe down below. Enjoy your day. I'll catch you later in the next update.